many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible things.
Was silent the kind of silence that weighs heavily, amplifying every rustle-off paper and muffled cough it. Was the 17th day of Sean Diddy's trial when name Kim Kardashian was mentioned for the first time. The revelation landed like a thunderclap, sending shockwaves through the room. The stunned faces off reporters and spectators reflected the disbelief that rippled through the gallery. Kim Kardashian, one of Hollywood's most polished and powerful...
The evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witness violence.
Figures was being implicated in a castle ready teetering on the edge of scandal and ruin. The air charged with a sense of something monumental breaking loose. What had begun as a trial centered on the alleged criminal enterprise of Sean Combs was now spiraling into an expose-off connections and complicity that no one had dared imagine. The media frenzy was instant and feral within moments. News outlets scrambled to report on the bombshell revelations, speculating on what role the reality TV mogul and businesswoman could have possibly played in this sordid saga. The allegations were killing. According to leaked documents and whispered rumors, Kim Kardashian was no mere attendee at Diddy's infamous parties. She wasn't just a passive observer of the excess, the glamour, and the debauchery. Instead, she was allegedly a fixer behind the scenes. Operator who facilitated deals, handled sensitive financial issues, and most disturbing...
as Wild King nights. And what a Wild King night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil,
I've laid a role in silencing victims. The courtroom murmurs as the hurried scribble-seft journalists and the wide-eyed shock-off. Those present painted a picture af collective disbelief. Could it be true? Called one of the most successful and visible women in the world, have been entwined in such a... The details only deepened. The intrigue of her years. Did's gatherings had been the stuff of legend, lavish, exclusive, and shrouded in secrecy. They were playgrounds for the rich and the famous, where boundaries blurred and indulgence reigned supreme. But now, as federal prosecutors unraveled the threads of a criminal enterprise, these soirees were being recast as something far darker, dubbed freak-offs by those in the know. They were described as elaborate events that combined power plays and exploitation. The guise of luxury and entertainment. Insiders had long whispered about the machinery that kept these events running smoothly. Their waste-stock of enablers, those who ensured fate for writhing, and everyone stayed under control. And now Kim Kardashian's name was being pulled into that machinery. It was suggested that she wasn't just a guest, but a participant in the ecosystem, tasked with ensuring that problems were dealt with quietly, that individuals who posed a threat to the empire were coerced into silence.
Of coming forward, they've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so, yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
And that the Gearsef, this hidden world, continued to turn without interruption. What made these allegations so damning was the specificity whispers of blackmail, financial settlements, and carefully orchestrated payouts began to surface. Rumors swirled that Kardashian had facilitated behind-the-scenes deals to suppress damaging information. There were assumptions that she had been involved in identifying individuals who might pose a risk to Diddy's image or enterprises, ensuring they were either placated or references to documents that allegedly outlined payments made to victims, agreements signed in secret.
He cornered me, and then he asked me, with his arm up, he asked me, "How you doing?" I'm kind of like, wow, this is, what the heck? Very uncomfortable. And then he rubbed his hand down my breast. He said, "If you need anything at all, you let me know."
And financial trails that hinted at a mucklerger operation was Kim.
For years. They described a world where
Kardashian, truly a
influence was
key player in
currency,
this
where
dark
silence was
networker,
bought, and where those
she
who
being
dared to
dragged
step out
into
of
the
line were
chaosis?
swiftly dealt with. The
Collateral
allegations
damage
against
for years
Kardashian,
did
if
ice
proven
empire.
true, would not
It
just
thrived on
tarnish
its
her
mystique and
carefully
power,
cultivated
but
image,
the trial
but
was
could
peeling
unravel the
back
broader
layers that no
facade
amount
of
of
Hollywood's
celebrity
elite. The mere
loss could hide.
suggestion
The
that
prosecution
Kardashian might have
painted a
played a
picture
role
of
in
a
such a
criminal
scheme felt like a
enterprise
betrayal to many.
operated
She had
like
built
a
her
well-oiled
empire on the
machine,
promise of
one
empowerment,
that
on the
relied on
idea
the
that she was a
complicity.
self-made success
Off
who had turned
insiders in the
reality
silence
television
of
into a
outsiders
global
saying,
brand.
now with Kim
But what if that
Kardashian's
success had
mammoth
come at a
thrust into the
cost?
spotlight?
What if it
the
had been
narrative.
built, at least in part,
Industry
on
insiders
trustworthy
began to speak
conspiracy?
out, albeit
His LA mansion was
anonymously,
raided by
about Thea
Homeland
whispers
Sorry,
Security.
I'm
that
just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck 21 years later.
The New York
Circulated for
penthouse
years,
ransacked, and
described
what they
a
found,
world where influence is
thousands of
currency,
incriminating photos,
where
messages,
silence was bought,
a literal
and
ocean
where
of
those who
legal
dared to
offenses.
step out
But
offline
now,
were swiftly
those
dealt with
connections
the
were being
allegations against
re-examined under the
Kardashian.
harsh light of scrutiny.
If proven
the
true,
narrative was
would
shifting,
not just
and with
tarnish
it,
her
the public's
carefully
perception of
cultivated
both
image,
figures. For Diddy,
but couldn't
the trial was
ravel
already a
the broader
devastating blow to his
facade
once untouchable
of
legacy.
Hollywood's
For
elite.
Kurt,
The
they
mere
didn't think it would
suggestion
come from
thought
the federal courtroom.
Kardashian
Because
might have
here's
played
the
a
deal:
role in such a
multiple
scheme
witnesses,
felt like a
leaks, and
betrayal
insiders
told
have
me she
started
had built
pointing
her.
fingers
Empire
directly
on
at Kim
Thepromise and
Kardashian.
empowerment on
Not
the
just
idea
as left
Thatch
grappling with one
was a
shocking
self-made
question:
success
how deep
who had
did the
turned
rot
reality.
So she
Television into a global brand. But what if that success had come at a cost? What if it had been built, at least in part, on complicity
The revelations
and a
about Kim
system
Kardashian
designate?
sent shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond. But
The
story
quorum
was
drama was far from
As
over
the trial
as Thedes unfolded
a new
more
and
details.
unexpected twist
Emerged
one that
panting an ever
complicated the
darker
narrative
picture
and
of
brought an
Thedes
entirely
between
different
Diddy and
perspective to light.
Kardashian.
Could it be that Kim Kardashian, whose name had become
Had
synonymous
long been
with
seen
power
as
and
part of
control,
theism,
was herself
exclusive
a victim of the
social
very
circles
machinery she was
frequenting the
accused of
same
helping to
events,
operate? Whispers of
and
coercion
Sharinga
began to
network
surface,
of mutual
suggesting that
acquaintances.
Kardashian might not have been as free
But
in her
no,
actions
those
as
connections
previously
were
assumed.
Binger examined
Was
under
she
the
a
harsh
willing
light.
accomplice, or had she
Off
been
scrutiny,
manipulated, even
the narrative
blackmailed
was
into
shifting,
participating in
and with
Diddy's
it, the
alleged
public's
schemes?
perception of
Possibility
both
was both
figures for
shocking and
Diddy.
believable
The
in a
trial was
world where
already a
influence
devastating
and
blow
leverage
to
are
his
wielded like
unsuntable
weapons.
legacy.
The courtroom buzzed with speculation.
For Kardashian, the
as sources
implications
close
were
to the
just
case
beginning to
hinted at a
take shape.
darker undercurrent,
Was she a willing
one where
participant
Kardashian's
in
participation
this alleged
Diddy's
criminal
empire
enterprise,
may have
or
been the
was
result
it?
of threats,
Another
financial
victim caught in its
entanglements,
Web
or
feed
even
trial promised to reveal
emotional
more. But
You
for
already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends. I don't got no celebrity friends.
the world was left grappling with a shocking question: how deep did the quorum drama was far from over as the days unfolded. More details emerged, panting an ever darker picture of Thedes between Diddy and Kardashian. Ditwo had long been seen as part of theism exclusive social circles, frequenting the same events, and Sharinga network of mutual acquaintances. But no, those connections were Binger examined under the harsh light. Scrutiny, the narrative was shifting, and with it the public's perception of both figures for Diddy. The trial was already a devastating blow to his unsuntable legacy. For Kardashian, the implications were just beginning.
As far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these, all you fake hard,
Take shape. Was she a willing participant in this alleged criminal enterprise, or was? Another victim caught in its Web Fit trial promised to reveal more, but for no, the world was left grappling with own shocking question: how deep did the revelations about Kim Kardashian sent shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond? But the history was far from over. As the trial unfolded, a new and unexpected twist emerged, one that complicated the narrative and brought an entirely different perspective. Too light could it be that Kim Kardashian, whose name had come synonymous with power and control, was herself a victim of the very machinery. She was accused of helping to operate. Whispers of coercion began to surface, suggesting that Kardashian might not have been as free in her actions as previously assumed. Was she a willing accomplice, or had she been manipulated, blackmailed into participating in Diddy's alleged schemes? The possibility was both shocking and believable in a world where influence...
Think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house?